Hola gentecillas, ¿qué tal? Aquí Abraham León comentando y estamos una vez más en un nuevo vídeo para el canal. Esta vez nos encontramos en Sherlock, Holmes, Crimes y no sé qué más, no sé inglés. Un nuevo vídeo para nuestro queridísimo canal de los leoncitos. Empezamos una nueva serie. Como ya os dije, yo os traigo mucho contenido. Y dicho esto, vamos allá. El juego, pues, para quien no sepa quién es Sherlock Holmes, es un detective súper profesional. Solo que en el juego no tiene que ver nada con el Sherlock Holmes de las series y la película, porque el tío no es igual. O sea, a lo mejor sí, pero no tiene la gorra que tanto lo identifica al otro juego. Así que nada, dicho esto, vamos a darle. Partida nueva. Juego bastante viejo, hay que decir. Memoria de los 100 en el cielo de Ucrania. Me han dicho que está bastante guay. Vamos a ver. Otra cosa, espera. Mierda. Voy a bajarle el volumen. Porque está... Vamos, altísimo no. Lo siguiente. Bueno, la voz es muy igual. Ah, sí, sí. Ah, sí, sí. Ahora sí que sí. Partida. Es decir, chavales, que estoy todas las tardes sobre las 9. Si no me duermo mucho. Sobre las 9 de la noche, horas españolas. Si no duermo mucho o no tengo que editar mucho, estoy sobre las 9 en directo en Twitch. Aquí abajo en la descripción os dejaré el link. Pasaros porque no sé qué pasa estos días de cuarentena, que ni Dios me habla, macho. Es increíble. Y claro, estoy ya ahí solo haciendo directo. Ah, bueno, que era eso de la intro nada más. Pues tampoco me he perdido en cosas, ¿no? Estoy yo solo haciendo el directo sin que nadie me hablara. Pues uno se aburre y cerro rápidamente el directo. Qué bueno. Vale, a lo mejor sí que es igual que el de la serie.
Holmes.
¿Qué cojones? ¿Qué hace, loco?
Holmes, will you stop that? You are utterly mad. Stop, Holmes!
Is that you, Watson?
Yes, of course it is. And you almost killed me.
Nonsense. I was aiming for the vases.
Blindfolded?
Watson, quiet, please. I'm trying to concentrate. Ah, Lestrade. What is it this time?
He can see me. Well, here it is, and it's a good one, Mr. Holmes. A gentleman by the name of Peter Carey, also known as Black Peter, has been murdered.
A sailor, most probably.
What happened here?
En este game tienes este juego gratis.
It's the only exercise I've had all week. A grateful client from Limoges sent me a vase collection this morning. I couldn't think of a better use for it.
You're out of your mind.
I missed 4 out of 10.
Given you were blindfolded, that was very good. Can I have a try?
Am I the only sane one here?
I suppose that Watson is right, Inspector. A little brain work would be preferable now. Do please tell us more about Black Peter.
Peter Carey, born in 1845 and 50 years old. An ambitious sort, he achieved much success in seal and whale hunting around Scandinavia. Retired in 1884 with a small fortune. He invested his money in a property called Woodman's Lee, near Forest Row in Sussex. It was where he lived for 6 years, and where he was found dead yesterday.
Has the investigation already begun?
Yes and no. In fact, this crime is so mysterious that I would prefer you to join me down there.
Give me half an hour to prepare, Inspector.
Take your time and join me there. I have to go through the yard first. The merry men struck again.
What have they done this time?
They robbed a powder reserve. I'll meet you at Woodman's Lee, Mr. Holmes.
I should help Mrs. Hudson here. I also have several appointments that I must keep this afternoon.
I shall go alone, then.
Pulsa Tab para abrir el cuaderno y comprobar tu progreso actual en la investigación. Tareas, pruebas, etc. Peter Carey, también conocido como Peter el Negro, nacido en 1845, 50 años. Cosechó mucho éxito en la caza de ballenas en las costas escandinavas, se retiró en 1834 y acabó estableciéndose en Woodman's Lee. Investigar el asesinato de Peter Carey, inspeccionar la escena del crimen en Woodman's Lee, solucionar un traje de armario y unirse con Lester en Woodman's Lee. Esas son nuestras misiones. Mira, chavales, deciros que si apoyáis muy bien la serie seguiré trayéndola al canal, y si no, pues pasará como Borderlands, que hasta lo acabé desinstalando porque ocupaba mucho y no podía pillarme
My analysis table.
el juego
It is useful for my work.
Así que nada, si veo que lo apoyáis con unos buenos likes, yo seguiré subiendo la historia.
You go along to Peter
Si no,
Carey's house. Mrs. Hudson and I will
pues
take care of the
para
mess you've made
Twitter.
here.
Uy, Twitch.
Oh, what a mess! What a terrible mess!
Vamos a ver. Las misiones. Investigar el asesinato de Peter Carey. ¿Y cómo investigo yo eso? ¿Me habrá dejado un algo? LOL, la gorda. Espía a la gorda el Sherlock este. ¿Será un salido? Le gustan las gorditas,
I cannot leave yet. I am not finished here.
Movilidad de juego. Muy rara. Muy absolutamente rara.
This is where I keep my post. This is where I...
Ah, que me puedo... Puedo cambiar el estilo de pelo. Ah, aquí está el Sherlock Holmes de toda la vida. Aquí está el Sherlock Holmes de toda la vida, compañero. Esta. ¿Lleva gafas? Creo que esta, ¿no? ¿Lleva barba? No, barba no llevaba. Aquí tenemos a Sherlock Holmes toda la vida, chavales. Ah, vale. Hay que desbloquearlo. Pues muy bien. Pues muy bien. Tío, tengo que investigar esto, pero... El inspector Lestrade visita Baker Street para relatarle a Holmes el grotesco fin de un antiguo capitán conocido como Peter el Negro.
My archive. I can always consult with it if needed.
Ah, ahora sí.
Mr. Holmes, I'm over here. Come on.
Huellas.
These footprints appear to be quite large. It seems that the garden was well maintained. It seems that the garden was well maintained.
Inspector Lestrade, when will you remove my husband's body? It's sacrilegious to leave him here like this.
As soon as we can, Mrs. Carey, I assure you. Allow me to introduce you to Mr. Sherlock Holmes. He's a detective. No doubt you've heard of him. I'll wait for you in front of the cabin, Mr. Holmes.
My condolences, Mrs. Carey.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
The garden is very large and well maintained. Do you employ someone to look after it?
It is true, there is a lot of work, but my husband took care of it himself.
Madam, can you tell me if you saw or heard anything unusual upon the night of the murder?
At 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard a terrible scream. But I thought nothing of it then. He would scream all the time when he was drunk.
Can you please tell me what occurred on the evening of the murder?
Well, Peter got drunk in the evening. He was in such a terrible temper. Usually whenever that happened, he'd stay all night drinking in his cabin before passing out.
Do you remember at what time you found your husband's body?
In the morning, at around 7 o'clock, I noticed the cabin door was open. But I didn't go in to take a look, for I knew my husband would not have liked it. At around 10 o'clock, I dared to glance in through the door and... oh dear.
Was your husband accustomed to receiving visitors?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I mean, he didn't really have many friends. He lived quite an isolated life here, after his retirement.
Demasiado.
Thank you, madam.
Dice que es una mujer que ha llevado una vida intranquila por culpa de su infeliz matrimonio con Peter. También es muy religiosa. Una mujer católica que cuando era joven peregrinó a la manera de San Jaime.
Peter Carey's body is inside the cabin. We took care not to touch anything.
Interior de esta cabaña.
The door is locked.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Holmes, and I'll open it. I locked it yesterday to ensure that no one should enter the cabin and tamper with the evidence.
Ah, good thinking.
Hello, hello, hello.
What is it, Lestrade?
It seems to me that someone has tried to force it, Mr. Holmes.
Let me see. These scratches are fresh. You're right. Someone tried to force open the door.
I swear these scratches were not here yesterday.
Our mysterious visitor came here last night.
Well, he's not the man for the job. This lock is not a difficult one.
Perhaps he did not have the right tool.
LOL.
What a terrible way to die.
No, ya.
This place is not covered with dust, like the rest of the shelf. An object was taken from here. It was larger than a book. A box or a small chest, perhaps. The tooth of a sperm whale, probably from one of Peter Carey's catches. The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain. Old navigation instruments, nothing interesting. Peter Carey's boots. They look to be a size 8. Harpoons for hunting whales.
Él lo mató con un arpón de ballena,
The
tío.
Sea Unicorn. She was the ship that Peter Carey commanded. The weapon fully penetrated the body. The force of the blow was immense. This man is in his 50s, yet he still looks quite strong. Peter Carey was fully dressed. He was not caught by surprise. It is possible that he knew his murderer. Peter Carey was impaled to the wall by a whaling harpoon. The weapon fully penetrated.
Rota el objeto.
This wooden handle is plain and solid. This wooden handle is plain and solid. This blood is from the pool underneath the dead body. Peter Carey tried to defend himself with this knife, but he did not succeed. JHN are probably the initials of the owner of this notebook. The pattern of the blood stain indicates that the notebook was not lying on the floor prior to the crime, but it was dropped into the pool of blood after the death of Peter Carey. These abbreviations mean something, but what? Someone drank from this glass recently. Someone drank from this glass recently. The initials PC have been crudely burned. A sailor's work. This aroma is familiar, but to recognize it, I must construct my associations in one picture.
¡Ah! ¡Que lo puedo mover así! Ah, vale, esto es un dibujo que hay que... de alguna manera... Ah, mira, un barco. Ah, ya lo tengo. Ya lo tengo. Ya está.
Yes. This is a coarse tobacco, quite strong and very popular among sailors. Rum, a sailor's drink. It seems that Captain Carey was enjoying a drink before he met his death.
Bueno, pues yo creo que ya está todo aquí examinado. Ah, no.
Hammerfest. Dundee. It's a whaling map.
Ahora sí.
Have you finished inspecting the crime scene? Have you finished inspecting the crime scene?
Pues sí. Sí, dice que el marido cuidaba del suelo del jardín. No parece plausible. Puede que esté ocultando algo. Un cuaderno de cubero con las iniciales está manchado de sangre, lo que indica que cayó en el charco que se produjo. Clavado a la pared. El cadáver de Peter Casey estaba clavado en la pared con un arpón, atravesándole el pecho como si fuera una mariposa disecada. Se produjeron distintos intentos de allanamiento a la cabaña, a jugar por los arañazos alrededor de la cerradura. Ten una imagen clara del caso formado tus decisiones a partir... ¡Ojo! Esto sí que mola. Preparar una emboscada. Debemos preparar una emboscada esta noche para ver si se repite el intento de allanamiento. Esa es buena.
Someone was here yesterday. They attempted to force the door to gain entry.
Esa es buena.
Well, Mr. Holmes, what do you think?
I think that we are lucky.
And why is that?
Because of last night's attempted break-in.
Sí.
Oh, you've lost me.
It is very probable that whoever came here hoped to find the door open. They tried to force it with a knife blade, but they failed. What will they do? Why, return tonight, when they will be better prepared.
Aha! So what do you propose?
We shall remain on the outside, near the window, where we stand the best chance of catching sight of our visitor. Well, gentlemen, ready your pistols. We have a long night ahead of us.
Sí, señor. Y todo esto de la emboscada lo veremos en el siguiente capítulo, chavales. Petadme a like si os gusta este juego, esta serie de Sherlock Holmes de detectives leones. Y yo os traeré más de esta serie. Si veo que no, pues le seguiré en Twitch. Y quien vea el directo en directo, perfecto. Y que no, pues resubido. Así que dicho esto, Muchas gracias por ver mis vídeos, chavales. A los que siempre estáis ahí apoyando, os agradece un montón. Yo dejo el vídeo por aquí. Me voy a grabar un poco a GTA con Mati, que ya lo tenemos de vuelta por el canal. Y nada, chavales, compartís, agradece un montón. Suscribiros si no estáis suscritos. Y petarme a likes para más historia de Sherlock Holmes. Un saludo y chao, chao.